Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey everybody, this is Alex Bennett, host of the Ramble, heard here and seen here on GABNET, Tuesday through Fridays, live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and I got some big news for you. Our program has moved its live video from Facebook Live to YouTube Live. After extensive tests in our GABNET laboratories of at least 10 minutes, our mind was made up and we've come to the conclusion that YouTube is superior not only in video quality, but audio as well. And then there's the ease of watching it. Here's what you do. Simply point your browser to youtube.com/Bolo Bennett/live. That's youtube.com/Bolo Bennett, BOLOBENNETT/live, and you're there. The player is waiting, and you do nothing, and when the show begins, so does the player. Couldn't be simpler. In fact, tag that page as a permanent tab on your browser, and you're ready to go. And if all of this is too vexing for you, well, just go to gabnet.net near showtime, and the player in the middle of the page will start to play when we're on. We're thrilled with the new quality our move has provided, and while you're there, would you do me a favor and please subscribe to our channel? No, I beg you to. Hey, listen to me, I'm groveling, okay? I know, it's pathetic. I'm sorry, I'm debasing myself, and I really shouldn't be. Please.
Evolution is defined as any process of formation or growth, development. The evolution of a radio program right before your ears.
Welcome into The Exchange. It's Rob Alfano, and it's a Wednesday night, a special night, and we'll talk about that in just a few moments. You're going to give us a call on Skype in a little while.
I'm Jim Browning. You're listening to The Exchange. Well, our long national nightmare just may be over. It seems that we are ready to say goodbye to reality television.
Good evening and hello, everybody. Welcome to The Exchange, your safe haven for the free and open exchange of ideas and opinions here on the Great American Broadcast Network every Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 10 Eastern, 6:30 to 7 Western. I'm your host and broker, Damian Chaplin. If you'd like to join the conversation tonight, go ahead and give us a call on Skype. I'm opening the lines right now.
The Exchange, one program, ever evolving. Be a part of evolution. Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 p.m., Damian Chaplin moves you in new directions. Call GABNET Live on Skype at 347-352-0079. The Exchange, the evolution. Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 Eastern, only on GABNET. What makes GABNET talk like you've never heard before? Well, it's the citizen panel concept. Our talk hosts talk to a whole group of people at the same time. Want to be a citizen panel member and add to the conversation? It's simple. First, download Skype. Answer 4 simple questions during the install. You know, your personal stuff, first name, last name, email address, and most importantly, the ID you want us to know you by. Then, from Add Contacts on Skype, enter GABNET Live. Become a contact, and you're ready to go. Now, if you're a Luddite and you hate computers, you could use the telephone, just like Grandma had back in the day. Call 347-352-0079 to connect via voice. Don't be shy. It's fun and addictive. Now, the last time I did this promo, I said if you don't call, I'd kill my dog. Of course, I was kidding, but then I accidentally killed him. So, to replace Fluffy, I got this cuddly pussycat. And now, if you don't call, I'll kill this cat. Don't worry, Sylvester. I won't let them hurt you. I'm not kidding. Call now or Sylvester gets it. Again. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey, everybody. Let me, boy, I'm just not pushing the buttons right tonight. Hi. How are you, everybody? It's Alex Bennett. It is the Ramble. And why is this sounding so, I don't know, not particularly terrific here? Oh, I have no idea. Oh, well. Anyway. Hi, how are you? Welcome to our fine little program. And we do this until, midnight tonight. Midnight Daylight Time, Eastern Daylight Time. And we'll have the Citizens Panel in just a little bit. But right now, we have a guest here, and we'd like to talk to her every now and then, a former wife of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, there she is, once again. It's Ronni Bennett. How are you, Ronni?
I'm just fine. How are you?
And we're talking to her in Lake Oswego.
Yeah, it's just south of Portland.
Yeah. Just a suburb. Is that what it's
Yes.
considered? Okay.
Yes.
It looks like you have a nice place there. It looks cool. Looks great.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah. Same furniture I always remember, just in different places. That's all.
I never change anything. I figure you get a sofa, it's for life.
Oh, boy. So when we started off today, before we went on, she said, what do you want to talk about? And I said, I don't know. And she says, I don't know. And I said, well, we just start from point A and we find out where we wind up. And I guess the thing I would like to talk to you about, because you're an expert in aging.
Well, I don't know about an expert, but I know a lot.
Well,
yeah.
Let's face it, we're all experts in aging.
And when you get there,
when you get there,
young people
you're an expert in aging. But you do Time Goes By, .net, which is your blog, and you've been doing that for how many years now? God,
almost 15.
15 years.
I don't know where the time went. It's a surprise to me, too.
And it's all about what it's like to really get old, you know. And I had a perfect example of that the other day. I've been trying for the longest time to get a friend of mine into the studio to do an interview with. And his name is Jack Garfine. He was one of the founders of the Actors Studio West. He was with the Actors Studio in New York. He was a Broadway director, directed a couple of films. But the way he started out in life was in a concentration camp.
How old is this guy?
This guy is now 87 years old. He went to a concentration camp when he was 13. And as I look at Jack, I go, that's what getting old is. You know, I mean, because 87 is getting advanced. All right.
No kidding.
Hell,
yeah, you just figured that out.
You just turned 77. I just turned 78. And that's kind of advanced. But he's really advanced. And I'm watching him slowly, between you and me, decline, you know. And I love the man. I've only known him about 10 months, but I've just come to absolutely adore the guy.
Nice.
And we become very close. And I keep saying to myself, you know, you just don't want to get close to somebody who's that old, because you're not going to have them that long.
Doesn't matter if you have them today.
If you have them today. So we did an interview and stuff, and I started to think about it. And whenever you see a thing about it, I said to him, I said, you know, you're probably one of the last survivors of the camps. And he said, no, there are a lot of us.
I just saw a story about one today who is still with us, 112, probably the oldest survivor.
Yeah, but here's the thing that suddenly hit me. Maybe what he went through, the horror of it all, the pain of it all, the coming within 3 days of death of it all, somehow made him tough enough that he's now 87, that they live longer because of that experience. You think there's anything to that?
A lot didn't, too. People die at every age. I don't think so. Yeah. And does he talk about it? Because a lot of people won't who survive.
Oh, he talked about it. Yeah. We got into a major discussion. It lasted about an hour and 50 minutes. And I had to rush him through it. I mean, I wish he was exhausted because he's been having some health issues. And so I couldn't, it's like I wish I had 10 hours with him just on that subject, but I had to kind of rush him through it. But the third part of the interview, which lasts 50 minutes, is just extraordinary about his experience in Auschwitz. And he was in 11 camps. You know,
moved him around a lot.
They moved him around a lot, but he survived it. That's the thing. And it's a story of survival. It's just by inches, there was the difference between life and death, you know? So I'm wondering if people who go through arduous circumstances like that, maybe if they come out on the other side of them, live a long, long life.
I don't buy it, but you can go ahead and buy it.
No, but I mean, maybe there's something to it that toughens your system.
Yeah, but it's an opinion. It's not a fact. You don't know the numbers.
Well, I'm not a scientist, okay? I'm only an observer. You know, but you know, you had a thing once. I think maybe you had it you had it written on a pillow. That was Betty Davis's quote. Getting old,
which everybody knows now. Yeah. Old age is not for sissies. And after the last year, I'm here to tell you that I thought she was right before. Now I really know she's right.
No, really, you know, I've got aches and pains. I mean, nothing compared to what you've gone through. But I have aches and pains, and I go, you know, it doesn't get any better. You would think that if there was a good God in heaven, you know, as everybody likes to pray to, that he would have done something where as you get older, things get better. There's a reward at that end of that rainbow.
Don't you think some things have gotten better? I've got aches and pains. Everybody has a different number and different intensity, and you know, I don't have pains, and I'm knocking wood as I say that. I just, you know, now that I'm recovered from the surgery, I don't really have daily pains. But what would it give it? There must be an upside for you.
I'm trying to think about it. Let's see here. The fact that nobody takes you seriously anymore, is that an upside? No, it's not. I don't know that there is an upside. I mean, everything gets a little worse rather than easier, or you know what I'm saying?
I think that a lot of stuff, I've learned a lot. There are a lot of, you know, the phrase stuck in our ways about old people?
Yeah.
I've really come to think that is really, really wrong. One of the things I'm stuck in my ways about is my coffee in the morning. For 30 years, I bought it from Puerto Rico Coffee on Bleecker Street in the Village, about 2 blocks from where I lived in New York.
Yeah.
And when I left 10 years ago, God, more than that now. Anyway, I went to Maine for 4 years, and I hadn't looked at coffee in the grocery store for years because I'd been buying it at this wonderful shop that's been around for 100 years in New York. And I couldn't make sense of what I didn't want to. I'd gone through so much to find the blend I liked at Puerto Rico Coffee. I didn't want to do that again. I had done that 30 years before, and I was still very happy with it. So we had the internet by then, by the time I moved. So I just import coffee, and I still do, from Puerto Rico. Every couple of months I buy a whole bunch. And by the way, it's cheaper because they still give you whole pounds, which you don't get in the supermarket, for a smaller price or about the same price as the supermarket. And there's a whole lot of things that it took me a long time to figure out what I preferred when I was younger, over a period of years that you discovered. And now I don't have to think about it anymore. Yes, I am stuck in my ways. I am going to have that kind of coffee until the day I die. But that's not stuck in my ways in a negative sense. It's because I figured out a long time ago what I liked best, and I don't have to think about it anymore, which gives me a little more room in my brain to think about other things. And there are tons of things like that we've done through our lives that just make it easier. You don't have to think so hard about it anymore.
Yeah,
just that alone. Well, and that's a small thing.
And that's one of the reasons why advertisers covet the 18 to 49-year-old age group, is because they are malleable. That if you get somebody started on, say, Starbucks coffee when they're in their 20s, they will probably continue when they're in their 60s to go out and stop at Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why they don't care about the age group over that for television, because the trends and what you buy are set there. I've always been a Coca-Cola drinker, whether it's been regular Coke or then now Diet Coke and Coke zero sugar. I've always been a Coca-Cola user. You cannot get me to Pepsi. I'm sorry.
Well, that's been a constant argument for as long as my whole life. Pepsi drinkers, Coke drinkers.
I think it was Bill Maher referred to it as sad Coke.
Another thing that makes life easier as I get older is almost everything that's bothering me, I can say, okay, this too shall pass, and it does usually,
Really?
Whatever is upsetting me at the moment, or, it's always going to. Oh, and here's the other thing. You know how time supposedly goes so much faster as we get older? It appears to go much faster. Yeah. It means that anything that's wrong right now will go away faster than when you were younger. And it maybe not for real, but I remember that when Monday came and I would go to work and there was something I was looking forward to on Friday, it took forever for Friday to come. Now on Monday, I look at the week and next thing I know, I blink my eye and it's Friday morning. What happened in between? I barely remember sometimes.
Well, let's get to the question here then of memory.
Okay.
It's bothering me lately.
Your memory bothers you?
The things that I do, repetitive things that I do every day, sometimes I fuck up on now.
Me too.
Now, is that part of getting old or just you're tired of the repetition?
Oh, I don't think, you don't consciously do that to yourself. I just think, a few months ago, which in my case can mean a year or more ago when I say that, there was some recognized scientist, not just somebody making stuff up in their room, saying that the work that he had been doing on the brain is that one of the reasons old people have trouble with memory is there's just too much stuff in there, like an overfilled hard drive.
I heard that one too, yeah.
I don't believe it. But I've watched myself do things like you're talking about, the repetitive things, in a different way than I used to, that I know in the cupboard in the kitchen that certain dishes are behind this door. Invariably, I open the other door beside it. For years, I have been opening the right door. Suddenly, for the last year, I'm opening the wrong door, and although it's not every time, it's frequent enough that I notice it. And it's, it's not something I stand around and think, oh, I need the blue dish. I just go open a door when it's in my head, but I open the wrong door. Also, I don't know if this is exactly related to memory, but one of the things I've been watching myself do for the past 2 or 3 or 4 months is I don't feel like I move any slower than I did. In my case, I keep saying pre-surgery now, so I will for a while, I suppose. But everything seems to take longer. I mean, even though I don't feel like I'm going any slower. For instance, I decide I need to go out. Okay, all I need is my handbag and my coat. I look at the clock, and it's 10 minutes to 12. And at 12, I happen to walk by the clock again, and I still haven't got my coat on. What did I do for 10 minutes? I mean, it drives me crazy.
Well, here's the one that gets me. I have to go to the kitchen to get something. The distance between the kitchen and the bedroom is maybe a 10-second walk. All right? And I get to the kitchen and forget what I was going there to get.
The first time that happened to me, I was about 38, and I remember it distinctly because I was on my way to work and I was late, and I kept a thing which I have all my life near the door, a place to hang my keys so that when you come in you just automatically hang them and you know where they are all the time. Yeah. They weren't there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, my door in New York City opened onto the street. There's not a chance I could leave my door unlocked and go out for the day. So I go, through the coat pockets from the day before and everywhere, all over the house. I can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find it. Time is going by like crazy. Suddenly I go to the refrigerator for something, and there they are. It's an old joke these days. There are the keys in the refrigerator. I don't remember doing it.
Wait a minute. There was an ad on TV about some woman getting Alzheimer's, and the way they found out, she kept leaving her key. They found her keys in the refrigerator, and my whole line has been forever, I'll know I've got Alzheimer's when I find my keys in the refrigerator.
Oh, I found them there when I was 38, and I'm doing fine at 77. By the way, this just occurred to me, that I had a birthday on Saturday. I turned 77, and I was getting ready and thinking about this chat that we were going to have today. And I think I met you when I was about 17. So that means 27, 37, 47, 57, 67, 77. We've known each other for about 60 years.
Ouch. I think maybe, let's see, how old was I when I met? I met you outside the Old Town Coffee House in Sausalito, California, and somebody said, I got to get my friend Ronnie. And you came in, and I guess you were wearing jeans. You were dressed not particularly femininely, okay? And so
jeans? I just had jeans on. What's not feminine about that?
Well, I think you also had short hair too. So when you came in, I was just, it was dark, and I didn't know that Ronnie was a woman. And then all of a sudden you started to talk, and I realized Ronnie was a female.
You mean you thought I was a man for my name?
Yeah. So, and that's when we first met.
Where did we go?
I can't remember.
There were a bunch of people in the car. I don't remember where we were going.
Yeah, I don't remember, and those weren't days of drugs, for me at least. So there isn't a loss of memory on that. I think we just drove around a little bit or something like that. I can't remember who was driving the car.
I thought it was you.
No, it wasn't me. No, I was in the back seat where you climbed in.
That's the most I remember of that night. Not much,
I would think that considering how our marriage turned out, you'd want to just erase it from your memory altogether,
Well, the Old Town Coffee House was a big favorite of mine, and I only lived 2 or 3 doors down from it, so I spent a lot of time there.
Right. Yeah.
It was the Beatnik Central. It's where the Beatnik movement was born.
The Beatniks.
People sometimes, younger people think I was a hippie. I always said, no. I was a beatnik. Most of the world has forgotten what beatniks were, but I was one.
We were beatniks, and then that transmogrified, I guess, into hippie.
Well, I don't think they were the same things.
They weren't the same things, but they came. A lot of the hippies were beatniks. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't have a sense of that.
I'm proof of that. Younger. I'm proof of that. I was a beatnik, and then I became a hippie. In fact, you were a hippie. I've got pictures of you with your bell bottoms and the whole thing at WMCA.
But that was general fashion. And that wasn't everybody wore bell bottoms then, not just hippies.
But we weren't hippies during that era?
I didn't feel like I was. I was an anti-war protester.
Yeah, but you didn't feel you were? You didn't feel you were?
I never felt a kinship with a hippie ethic.
Did you feel I was a hippie?
Not particularly, but if you want to think so, that's okay with me.
No, I think that I was. I guess.
Well, you grew your hair really long. Yeah. And a beard. Did you have a beard?
I had a little bit of a beard, yeah.
And you wore bell bottoms.
Well, that's all you could buy.
That's what I'm saying. It had nothing to do with hippies. It had to do with current fashion.
People say, why do these kids today wear such stupid clothing? It's because they're trapped into wearing that clothing. Because any era, I remember I hated platform shoes. The idea of platform shoes was an anathema to me. And I went into a shoe store one day to buy some shoes, and all there were platform shoes. I had no other choice. I found myself wearing platform shoes because I was forced to because of the fashion trend of the day. My
current fashion complaint, among many, but about old people, but just in general too, is that it's hard to find anything with sleeves anymore. It's very, very hard for women.
Yeah.
I don't think it's probably true for men. But there's nothing but sleeves. And I want to thank Michelle Obama for that. She's the one who first started showing up with sleeveless things when her husband was first elected president, and it became a fashion statement, and it hasn't gone away yet.
Right.
And I happen to like sleeves.
You happen to like sleeves. Well, I wear I wear like a shirt over my sleeveless, whatever. I don't know. My arms are not. I don't think they're, it's gotten old. My hands have gotten old. In fact, the worst thing I did was lose 55 pounds.
Oh, you get all wrinkled then.
Yeah, because my hands weren't wrinkled when I was 55 pounds heavier, right?
Alex, you're 78. It's okay. It's okay.
But I was always proud that these were the Schwarzman hands,
And what is special about Schwarzman hands?
You could tell it. My father had the same hands, same fingers. And they were musicians' hands.
Oh, that's very interesting. My grandmother, my mother's mother, died giving birth to my mother, so none of us ever knew her. Mm-hmm. But I have a photograph of her at age 15. Back in the early part of the 20th century, you went to a studio to have a picture taken rather than with a phone. And they had backgrounds people stood against. And she's standing against a kind of woody background and leaning on a fence, and her hand, if you can see this, is over the fence post like this. Yeah. Whenever I look at that photograph, her hand looks just like mine, my grandmother that I never knew.
Yeah, I think you inherit things like hands, I often wondered, excuse me for diverting into a ditch here, but
I can't wait to hear this.
I'm wondering if, for guys, penises are inherited. And none of us know because nobody wants to ask how big was Dad's penis.
Stop it.
So we've never had an answer to that question because we're afraid to ask it.
What difference would it make?
Well, if your father had a short penis and you've got a short penis, then obviously it's inherited.
Talk about something else, please.
It's just something that has always bothered me, and I've never had a sufficient answer on it because nobody does any research into this.
Probably not. Probably not. Most people don't even talk about it, and particularly when they're being recorded.
The other question a lot of kids don't ask their parents is, under what conditions was I conceived? Did you ever ask your parents that question?
No, never occurred to me.
I did ask my mother.
I know where babies come from.
Yeah, but I did ask my mother.
Well, it was the bed that you had.
You don't want to hear the answer. Most people don't want to hear the answer because it's not what you thought. What you think you're going to hear is, well, we decided that we wanted another member of our family and we wanted somebody to love and adore. Okay, that's the answer you want, all right? The answer I got was we had moved into a new apartment. The furniture hadn't arrived yet, so we had sex on the floor.
By the way, did you see this morning? It's very charming. If you haven't seen it, go up to YouTube and look at it. Seth Meyers' wife had their second
I saw. No, I saw him
lobby of their building yesterday.
I don't watch that show, but last night for some reason I thought I'd watch and see what Corden was doing and see what Seth Meyers was doing, and he went into that story about his wife giving birth in the lobby of their building.
Yeah.
With her vagina.
It's about 10 minutes long, and he's just charming and lovely about it. It's really nice.
Yeah, but he also
funny. He's got a few good.
Well, he also
lines.
talks about the fact is he says I'm glad nobody came down in the elevator because that's the way she was facing.
He said that when he was calling 911, that he in the space of 1 minute he had to say to them, "We're having a baby." Or, "We're going to have a baby. We're having a baby. Oh, we had a baby." It was that quick.
Yeah. So but amazing how many firemen showed up.
Yeah, well, it's Seth Meyers,
Yeah, but you would think it'd be like one or two firemen that would show up. But no, it was like a whole
squadron or something.
Squadron or whatever.
There were a lot of guys in the photographs, yeah. But it's funny that somebody was taking photographs during this.
Yeah.
mean, everything is recorded by cell phone now.
Yeah. I don't know that. You know, what's funny is that we are so dependent on hospitals and everything that when we give birth to a child, we don't know naturally what to do.
Babies do.
Babies do. The baby popped out and she had the baby in her arms, but I don't think she knew where to cut the cord or do that kind of thing. The fireman knew how to do it.
And it was what's funny about it is that Seth Meyers seemed surprised that the fireman knew how to do that when he told that part of the story.
Yeah. He
was surprised that they knew, and when he got to the hospital, he said he asked the doctor, did they do it okay? And firemen know how to do this. They're trained to do that, and the EMTs that go with them.
Yeah, and
I was just surprised he didn't know.
They said he did a very good job, the fireman. Yeah. So, it's... hey, look, I just looked. We've run out of time. Is this silly or what? See, you didn't know. What are we going to talk about? We could talk for another half hour.
It's interesting to us. I'm not so sure about everybody else.
In fact, it's interesting that we talk to each other more now than we did when we were married, and I think that's
true.
That's a good thing.
True.
We'll have to talk about marriage sometime. Yes, I know.
Well, you've got a lot more experience at it than I do. I only did it once.
Well, I was all you ever needed.
I've always seen it.
I soured you on
the old joke. Never mind about the old joke. We'll save it for
I soured you on the subject.
More or less.
Right. Isn't it funny? She's 77, just turned 77. Happy birthday. I'm 78. And we're sitting here laughing about all of this, which, at the time we weren't laughing about it.
Wasn't funny then.
No.
That's, by the way, to bring this full circle back to where we began.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things to me about growing old is that things that were just overwhelming, particularly negative things that were just awful when I was in my 20s, 30s, even 40s. It's now, you just, geez, that's too bad. Now move on. It's just not as big a thing anymore.
Right.
Doesn't mean that I don't feel sad when sad things happen or angry when somebody does something that makes me angry, but it doesn't overwhelm me the way it did when I was young. And that's a big, wonderful difference with being old.
I wish I could say that was true of me. It's not that things bother me. I worry about things more than I used to.
Yeah, but then, I don't know what worry is. I don't understand what it... And I remember that during being married to you. I don't understand what goes on in someo's mind who worries.
I worry about things before... No, I found out why, if we can take a few more minutes here, screw my audience. We'll get to you in a second, guys and gals. Who was the guy who wrote Swimming to Cambodia? Oh, God.
Can't make it come to mind.
Well, I was Spalding Gray.
Yes.
So I was interviewing Spalding Gray, and I started talking about, we were talking about traveling, because, he swam to Cambodia. I said, it's terrible. Before I go on a trip, I go panicky. I start worrying about every aspect of the trip, like, will I be able to make this train when I do this, and blah, 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 blah. And he said, well, I'm the same way. And I said, yeah, why do we do that? He said, simple. We're control freaks. We always look at the worst possible scenario on everything that's going to happen before it happens, so that if it does happen, we're not surprised.
That's very interesting because I don't feel that way about life.
Yeah.
But when I was producing live television shows way back in the 70s, after you and I broke up, every morning before we went live, before we went on the air, I would think about everything that could go wrong on this live show and have in my head a solution for every single thing that could go wrong. So that one day when the third camera went down, I knew what I was going to do with the other two cameras and so on. And
that's a little different, though, than worrying about whether a train is going to take off on time.
It wasn't worrying. But it was being prepared that you're talking about.
But I would let it obsess me.
In a similar way.
I mean, right now I'm obsessing about the fact that I have to go in for my yearly physical. And will my PSA go up? Not that, hey, my PSA could go down.
I have the same problem about that, but I don't let it overtake my life.
Yeah.
But I can't claim credit for not allowing it to take over my life. It just is. That's who I am.
Well, I drive
make myself that.
I drive my current wife crazy with this, with my
Well, I sympathize. I've been there.
You've been there. You should. There's a little club. They get together on Saturdays and they. Love you.
Enough time to go.
Love you, Ronnie.
You too. Take care.
Let's do it again in a couple of weeks, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
And that was my ex-wife, Ronnie, and we get together every couple of weeks and talk about stuff. If you want to see her website, it's timegoesby.net. Okay, timegoesby.net. Oh, it's really like to get old, and it deals with things about aging. So that's why we were talking so much about aging, because she, as I say, she's the expert. But then again, we all eventually become an expert on aging. Anyway, let me see here. Let me get rid of the music part of the panel and get up the, where is it? Here we go. Put up the Skype. Turn on the Skype. Okay. Hey, by the way, tomorrow night we're gonna have something on here. We're gonna have the first of the 3 interviews with my dear friend Jack Garfine, and we're going to be talking about his time in well, first just the whole thing that went on with the camps and so on, with the concentration camps, but about the lead up to it and growing up and the kind of things, what happened exactly. How did you get arrested? How did this all happen? How did it all come down? And it really is fascinating. Maybe not the easiest thing to listen to. He does tend to wander a little bit, and I had to keep him on target. But what we got out of him in the end, the second episode is great too. But the third episode, which you'll hear about 3 weeks from now, because I'm going to run one off each week, is amazing. It is just an amazing thing. And what it is you're dealing with the the Holocaust and the concentration camps, and what was it like to be growing up in that, and the fears, and he talks about his mother and how she handled it, and how she leveled with the kids and told them what might be happening, so that they were not being. I showed it to Marjorie today. Showed her first 2 episodes. And she said it is just riveting. She says, I don't know how other people are going to look at it. Some people might not like it. But she'll find, she found it riveting. And she says, I think a lot of people will. So the first interview of the 3 that I did with Jack Garfine, these are 2 30 minutes, and then the last one is 50 minutes. But that's all about Auschwitz and beyond and the liberation. So it's... And they were difficult interviews for me to do because Jack is an older guy, and I had to deal with his rambling a little bit on the stories and trying to make sense. But if you stick with it, I think the value you're going to get out of it is great. Well, I'm waiting for somebody to call here. I don't know if anybody's going to want to, but. The other night we went till 11 o'clock with only like 2 people, and then when I threatened to just close the whole thing down, including GABNET, all of a sudden we got filled up with people. So, Anyway, we'd like to hear from you, and I don't know where, for instance, where's Phil, and where is all the other people that call this program on a regular basis. I'd start talking about stuff now, but then people will call, and I would rather do it when I have people here. So I'm just waiting for the calls to start pouring in. As I sit here, where is everybody? God, by now I have at least somebody calling. Well, what am I going to do? I could play some commercials, things like that, Just hope that people call. Well, gee. What am I going to do? Can people hear me? Are we going out okay? I know the audio on the video's going out. I checked that. And the audio on GabNet is going out. So where's that? You know. Anyway. So I'm just sitting here waiting. I've never had to wait this long. Okay. Well. Okay. That's it. I'm fed up. I'm fed up. Oh, maybe we'll try this again tomorrow night and maybe somebody will call. All right? All right? Okay. Oh, here comes Renee. She saved us just in time. Hello, Renee. How are you?
Good. How about you?
Well,
wait, I'll work on the camera.
Yeah. Well,
there we go.
For some reason, nobody seems to be calling up, so I don't know what the problem is here.
No problem. So I saw Ronnie's interview earlier today, and that was cool that you posted it.
Hold on a second. I've got to do something here. Hold on. Let me see here. Let me hang up on him. Let me then add to contacts, send. Yeah, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to call him back. Let's see what happens here. Albert is calling, attempting to call. Let me see here.
Yeah,
why isn't it
That's better than a Rob.
Well,
no offense, Rob.
This is I don't know what happened there. But it says Radio Albert. Here we go. Phil Meyer is calling.
There you go.
Yeah. And let me see here. Albert is calling. Let me see if I can get into Albert here. Hold on a second.
This
add to group call. Okay. All right. Okay. Where is he? Where is he? Come on. And what is this?
And where in Florida did he move to?
Huh?
You didn't say. Where in Florida did he?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. What? This is not supposed to be like this. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. And I'm having all kinds of problems here. Resume call. All right.
I'm doing well. Hey.
I don't know. Albert, are you there, Albert?
I am here.
Yes, he is there. Oh, wow.
I'm here, but it's been so long since I've done this, I don't have any idea how to hook this up. I really don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Well,
I don't know what the timing is on everything. I know you just had your ex-wife Ronnie on.
Yeah.
And so that was fascinating.
Yeah.
For the 2 minutes I got to watch it.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd just pop in and say hello.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to watch it anymore. I don't know how to see what's going on really.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have a camera there?
Yeah, I've got the camera on.
Well, turn it off and turn it back on again. Let's see what happens here.
Oh, wait a
I'm
minute,
gonna have
here.
to talk to the camera.
There we go. There you are. Wow.
But how do I watch everybody else? I don't know how this works anymore. Okay, I see other people there.
Wait, turn on your camera again.
I thought the camera was on.
Yeah, for a second, and then it's like Radio Albert, and it's got a picture, and everything's in reverse.
Is it in reverse? It shouldn't be in reverse.
It is in reverse.
Yeah, it's all reverse.
I don't know how to do any of this
It's the
stuff
backward world of Albert. Yeah, how are you?
I'm good.
I was going to call you because we talked about doing this.
I was going to call you my ass.
No,
you keep wearing your little socialist cap over there. I see your, what is that, from China? You went to China again?
No, I didn't go to China again. That's when I went to China the last time.
Oh, the last time you went to China.
Yeah, the last time I went to China.
So how's everybody on GabNet? I didn't even know how to call because apparently you changed since I last did this.
Yeah.
You changed. It's now GabNet Live or something. I don't even know what it is.
That's the number.
I go to the website and I forgot it was gabnet.net. And I put gabnet.com, and it's some kind of Russian site or something.
Oh, is there?
It's collusion. It's collusion.
Yeah. It's
collusion. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Now, who else is on here? I see two other people.
Well, you've got Renee. I don't know.
Renee Collins.
Oh, hi, Renee.
Yeah, you remember Renee. She was at our when I went and got installed in the Bay Area Broadcasters Hall of Fame. And do you know Phil Meyer? Have you ever been?
I know Phil Meyer.
Yes.
Hey, how you
doing? There's Phil.
How you doing, Phil?
I'm all right. You know.
Still trouble?
Well, kind of. I just had a nice operation a couple weeks ago, so I'm recovering.
Yeah.
So this old people.
And there's we were just joined by Kevin. Kevin is plays Santa Claus at Christmas time.
Where?
Everywhere.
No.
It's the family. It's the family business. His wife plays an elf. You know, it's cool.
A hot elf.
Want me to come sit on your lap?
You know, his wife makes jewelry, and
jewelry.
So basically, the elves in Santa's workshop, which is right behind Santa, is where they make the gifts for the kids who have been good.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah,
yeah. Didn't know.
Yeah,
you know
that work.
I bet if you went up to your, what are you using? You're using a PC, right, Albert?
Always.
If you went into Tools, see where it says Tools?
No, I have no idea where it says Tools.
Up in the top, there's a strip of stuff. It says Tools. Does it?
No, I don't. No. Strip of stuff.
Or maybe you have the old one. What you do is somehow you got it. You're believe it or not, everything is reversed. You're like in Bizarro land.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can fix that.
If people can hold up a mirror to his part of the thing, you can then see him as he should be.
Yeah.
Float.
I like
behind you.
Huh?
I like this radio, Albert. I like that.
Yeah.
I can barely hear you, Renee.
Oh.
You're breaking up all over the place.
Oh, that's right.
You're not breaking up for me, so I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's probably my shitty signal.
Yeah, it's probably the shitty signal. He lives in.
You're in Florida now?
I'm in witness protection, so I'm not really losing.
You need that after you hang around with Bennett there for a while.
God, I miss seeing your face every day. I really do, Albert. I was thinking about that the other day. I was saying, you know, I spent most of my life for what, almost 9.5 years looking at your mug every morning.
Well, more than 10 years if you consider the video and the other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, right. You're right. You're right. But going in every morning, and there was Albert, you know.
Right.
And he was a guy who knew how to really make me look good. And
no, that was you.
No, you watched out for me. You really did. You know. You always you were a great producer. I had a lot of fun with you. But you know what I always think of and I miss, and if we were just there again together, you'd be doing Donald Trump.
No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I know you don't want to do it, but you used to do you were doing Donald Trump better than anybody did Donald Trump.
Yeah, I gave it a shot when I had to.
Yeah. Oh boy. So you're living in Florida. Does that make you exempt from having to deal with Donald Trump?
No, not at all. In fact, the opposite I think is true because I'm just minutes away, a short drive down A1A, and I'm right at
Mar-a-Lago.
You got to deal with him every weekend, right?
What's that?
You got to deal with him every weekend.
Well, not quite every weekend because he goes to Jersey too sometimes.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
So it's not quite every weekend.
Yeah,
but there's enough of that shit to deal with.
Hey, what's Jupiter like? Is that a nice area?
Yeah, it's nice. It's quiet. Everything's quiet except for Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. Everything else is quiet.
I like to go up the street to Uranus.
Yeah, I bet you would. I heard about your stuff. I'm not even going to bring up that story.
I was waiting for that.
Chris Ritter? Who the hell is Chris Ritter? Well, I can't. Chris, if you're trying to call in the show, I can't put you on because you have to ask to be. Well, let me see here. Let's see if we can get this person on. Hold on, everybody. He didn't ask for a request, but let me call him and see if I can. Can I get him? Add to contacts, send, and then go like that. No, Chris, I can't unless you answer that. You become a. Did you get a thing from me, Albert, asking you to make me a contact just a few minutes ago?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
as I said, I don't really know how this thing works.
Because now
I don't have any of this at all.
Now you can call him. Oh, you just don't. You never do this. You never do Skype.
Almost never. No, almost never.
Almost.
It's been a long time. And you know, when I moved, I disassembled everything, and I really didn't get there up until about 2 days ago. I didn't put any of the video stuff or anything together. I didn't have Skype installed. So I've really been out of commission for quite a while.
So what compelled you to call tonight?
Well, we spoke about having a conversation with me jumping on, and I had some time. I was going to watch what's the wrestling guy on HBO, but then I said, no, I don't want to do that. And I said, well, you know, Alex is on now. Let me see if I can jump on now.
Was the Andre the Giant documentary on now?
Andre the Giant is on now, yeah.
Oh, I want to watch that.
My son loves wrestling, so I wanted to watch it with him so that we can watch together, so I didn't watch it now. Yeah. Otherwise, you'd be second place to Andre the Giant.
So what'd you do? You got yourself a place down there. You built it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And what you described to me kind of sounded like Boca del Vista.
Well, it's kind of like that, yeah. I mean, it's got everything. The place has absolutely everything. Whatever I needed is here, and why would I go anywhere else or do anything else than enjoy life? You know, I got sick and tired of driving nowhere in 4 hours, getting my car beat up, going on the subway and smelling things that I didn't want to smell while I was standing up. So I said, forget it, enough. And Linda and I decided, that's it. Let's find a place to go. We both have family down here, so we decided, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's throw the money away before people inherit it from us.
And you got pretty sick and tired of the radio business, right?
I didn't get sick and tired of it. It just changed so much that it wasn't really the radio business anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I'd gotten some offers to do some very lucrative stuff, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. It wasn't the same thing. You know, it's a lot of sponsored programming where you have to put sponsor mentions in and you know, the thing I heard a lot was, well, you know, we really need to see how many clicks you can get on this. I said, well, that's not radio. I don't give a shit about clicks. If I want to click through, I can go on the internet and do that instead. But I don't give a shit about that.
Albert, we have something in common.
What's
My
that?
last paid radio gig was working for Alex. and if he thinks he's got a hiatus from radio, that was 1982.
Yeah.
Did you get him a lot of clicks?
There was no clicks in 1982.
Apparently, that's the big thing. I don't know.
What do you mean by clicks?
Then you're as fortunate as I am.
What do you mean by clicks?
Internet.
Were they talking?
Were
they talking about internet clicks?
Yes, yes. How many the metrics? How many people are going to be able to? You know, you have to. Oh, can you come up with enough ideas so people will click through to the website? I don't give a shit about the website. I'm not doing internet stuff. I'm doing radio. If you want me for that, I'll be happy to do it and take your money. But I'm not gonna. I don't want anything to do with click-throughs and having to supplement the website with a radio show.
Well, I remember once over at Sirius, they said to me, well, we're not giving you a bonus this year because you didn't get us any publicity.
Right.
And I said, I didn't think that was my job.
Yeah.
You know, that your job is to get me publicity so people will want to listen to me. Not for me to go out and get the publicity for you.
You got it all backwards, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, this thing is true with clicks. I mean, are you doing radio or are you doing the internet?
Yeah.
Now, here I happen to be doing the internet, so I guess clicks count. But, you know, if I was doing radio, fuck you with your clicks and how many, you know. Hey,
well, that's it. So I'm living Del Boca Vista life now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. The mouth.
I like Mark Thorner's side, though. No offense to your side, but I think Mark Thorner's over in the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, he's over.
Yeah, Mark Thorner's another one about like this.
Less hurricanes on Albert's side.
Yeah,
That's
really?
not necessarily true.
Yeah, well,
We'll get our share.
yeah.
I don't care. You know what? If there's a hurricane, who cares? You know, who cares what happens? You're forced to get insurance, so that's fine. And people say, "Oh, you got to put the alarm on it." Now, I don't give a shit about the alarm. I have insurance to cover stuff that's stolen. Do you think I care if you're going to steal my old stuff? I'll get the insurance and get new stuff. I don't care.
Come steal it so I can get some new stuff.
Exactly. That's my whole thing. You know, what did I put in hurricane-proof glass or whatever they call impact-resistant glass? For what? Because the hurricanes are coming. That's all.
Yeah.
And I have insurance for that too, so I don't care about hurricanes or anything.
Water warmer on the Atlantic side than it is on the Gulf side?
Well, it's probably warmer on the Gulf side.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
But also, it might depend on the time of year.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
it really doesn't matter to me because all I know is the pool is heated all year round, so I don't have a problem with that.
Well,
I don't really care. We go to the beach once a week, but we don't go in the water. We walk on the beach at least once a week, and the rest of the time I'm swimming in the pool.
To show
I
you,
don't care.
Alex?
to be able to wear a T-shirt and shorts at night.
Oh, it's the fucking best. Are you kidding?
No.
At night, talk about at night, all day long, every day. I haven't put a pair of long pants in 3 months.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know something? To show you how much I've given up, let me just stand up.
Okay.
Oh, the Gabnet guard.
There you go. He's got his flannels on.
Pajama pants?
Yeah, I've given up completely. You know, I've given up completely. Do you know how much weight I've lost, though? Look at that.
I know. You lost quite a bit. Let's see those sausage hands. They're all gone, huh?
What do you mean the sausage hands are all gone?
Sausage fingers.
Like Skeletor. Look at that. It's like the death fingers coming at you.
Yeah. He used to give me a bad time. He used to say I had sausage fingers. I did not have sausage fingers.
I didn't give you a bad time. You had sausage fingers. And it was confirmed by everyone in the room. It wasn't a bad time. Like I see it.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of Trump.
What's that?
They're the opposite of Trump when it comes to the hand.
Would you believe, Albert, you're talking about radio, that the radio we loved, it doesn't exist anymore, that at any time that two major broadcasting organizations would go bankrupt? I mean,
yes, I would believe that.
Well, I mean,
yes, I absolutely would believe that because I worked for one of those radio organizations, and there was no question that they were going to go bankrupt. No question at all.
Oh,
we just lost Albert's
we just lost your. You're just gray.
Oh, I'm just gray. Let me see if I get the camera back up. Hold on. Like I said, I don't know what the hell's going on here.
I don't know what's going on either.
I've
never seen that happen before. Have you, Phil? I've never seen that. Usually somebody's picture comes up. Your picture comes up instead.
I bet you the plug.
There we go. There we go. Now you're.
Okay.
What do you have now?
You're spinning.
Well,
You got the RA. Well, I may only be seeing the RA because I don't have a connection.
What do you mean the RA?
I see a circle with initials RA in it. No
Maybe
picture.
it's turning around.
Yeah, toggle it again. Just flip it on and flip it off again.
If he was one of my contacts on Skype, then I would probably see whatever he has posted. But
no, before when he was talking, I could see him.
Yeah.
You could see him, right?
yeah,
right.
It's just right now.
Am I back?
Almost.
Nope.
Your camera is doing the little circle thing.
But it's doing a funny circle thing. It's blanking in and out. Stop the camera a second. Let's see.
And then start it again.
Let's see if we get your graphic. No, we don't even get your graphic. That's strange.
I don't know. I have to. I guess I'm just going to have to come on here more often and figure out how this works.
Yeah, well, we would love to have you on more often. Jeez.
Perfect.
Just call Alex when the show's off on Skype, and he can help you work out the glitches.
Oh yeah.
Excellent delegation, Phil. Excellent.
Okay? That's why I get the big money.
Yeah, the other thing is he may not have upgraded to any newer versions of Skype since he first.
No, I have the newest version of Skype.
Oh, really? Maybe that's the problem.
do you see my thing now?
No.
Really?
And this is a family show. We don't want to see your thing.
I'll tell you. Hang up and call us back. Hang up and call us back. Let's see what happens. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, make sure not all those people you're begging for. Make sure they don't come in before me.
Oh no, I won't let them. We have plenty of room. Plenty of room.
Yeah, we need about 8 more people to show up.
If something like that. It's
been. You want to know the funny thing? Here's another funny thing. I don't even know how to hang up on this.
Well, here, I'll hang up on you and then just call back. Okay.
Tell them. You go to the bottom of your screen and you'll see the hang up sign. Just hover your mouse down towards the bottom of the screen. Yeah. And you'll see the camera icon and a couple of other icons.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, now I got it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Because I did.
Oh, do you see the camera toggle there? Or
is my camera back up?
No,
not yet. But if you turn it on and off, it might just click on.
No, it's there's something.
Not going to.
Not right.
There's something not right. There we go. There you are. Now we see you.
Am I up?
Yeah.
Am I the right way around?
Yeah. Now you're. No, you're not the right way around. No.
But that could be. You got mirror image clicked.
Yeah, what are you using to do that with? OBS?
Yeah. We spoke last time we got together about OBS. And I told you that I was checking it out for one of my relatives wanted to do a podcast, and I said, forget about a podcast, go on the thing. And so I was goofing around with that, but I don't know how to flip. I don't know how to flip the image around. Crazy. Huh?
There's something in there that says
it's probably something in OBS that you can flip it.
Yeah.
I'll do.
But I'm not.
Where is mirror image?
I don't know OBS. But
no, I don't think it's OBS because it's coming up fine over here. I don't know what it is. Anyway, this is going to be the most boring show you've ever had talking about all this crap.
Well,
no, that's when he gets the numbers. Whenever he has problems, he gets.
Yeah, we actually have pretty good numbers right now.
What does that mean?
That means we got 4 people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
What happened? What happened to all the other people that used to be on?
Well, they're out there lingering somewhere. They haven't called tonight.
Where did they go to the King of the Vape show? That's on earlier in the night.
What do you mean the King of the Vape show?
Oh, Damien.
Yeah, Damien.
No, the king, the King of the Vape.
Yeah. I know he smokes.
Yeah. Anyway, no. What I was going to say is that we some nights we have what we call a full house, and then we also have what the Royal Flush. That's the other one we have. That's one more person.
Just 11.
But once I get past like 9 other people besides me, it's very hard to keep control of everything. There's a certain limit. I remember you used to love to get as many people as possible. I think you hit 15 one night.
Whatever you can get. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, whatever happened to that crazy drunk guy that always called?
The crazy drunk guy.
He got banned.
He got banned every 2 days.
I banned him. I banned him once and for all.
What was his name?
Doug Dupree.
Doug Dupree. And then I heard somewhere he got divorced or something, or his wife threw him out. No?
Yeah, I see him on Facebook, and he and his wife get along great. And he's doing photography and rebuilding little motorcycles. He got fired or quit from his job. So he's unemployed, but not divorced.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently he's forgotten us once and for all. He doesn't seem to be trying anymore.
Well, I guess not.
Yeah. But
he's banned from shows that aren't even on the air anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and the other gentleman, what was the other guy's name that was Will? Oh, yeah, you banned Will, too.
Oh, Will. Who was Will?
Oh, Will was the pothead that always had the conspiracy theories that were like...
that was back in the radio show. That was back on Sirius.
Yeah.
He came to the Will came to the Bay Area Radio Awards too.
Yeah. But man,
the BAFTAs, the BAMMys.
The trouble was, remember though, he just got so out of hand. He got so stoned all the time. He couldn't control him.
Yeah. Oh, that's my aspiration at this point. Yeah, see, I moved down. One of the huge considerations was to move to a place where there's no state income tax. So that's covered. And by the way, thank goodness for that, because I got crushed by New York State. So fuck them.
How'd you get crushed by New York State? Well, your wife was working, right?
Yeah.
And then were you working too?
I wasn't working. So whatever it was, that and selling some stock and selling some other stuff.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
But so if I could find a place that has no income tax, and at the same time I can get some recreational marijuana.
I was just going to say, can you
ideal place. And I did the research, and although I can get medical cannabis here, but not in the smokable or the edible form, so that's pretty shaky right there.
Can you grow your own?
No. You can't do that here.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, though.
Geritol's a big item down there.
Now, you see Renee there, right?
Yeah.
She's somewhere in this world, but she's not in the continental United States. Where is she?
You want to see my window?
Look out the point out the window.
She's somewhere in this world. We're all somewhere in this world. What does that mean?
I don't think you'll be able to see anything.
Yeah.
It's a little gray.
I'll give you a little clue. Huma huma nuka nuka appa wappa ah.
What?
She's calling from Hawaii.
Oh, from Hawaii. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quit too.
Go down there.
I quit. I couldn't take it anymore. Too many of your it was 8 million of your closest best friends in one area, and it's just too hard. It was too hard to live in the Bay Area. I quit.
Good for you.
The only thing is I can actually grow pot, because you can have a couple plants per person here. So I'm sorry, Albert.
That's fucked up to tell me that. That's really fucked up. It's not nice.
Well, Kevin's got the same thing, because he's in California and he can grow way more plants than I can.
Yeah, but the problem with Kevin is, what is your average tax rate? About 8 point something?
Yeah,
25
exactly.
point something? That's
You gotta
fucked
move
up.
a little north to get out of that. Go to Oregon, and it's all good.
Okay, but do you have a sales state?
Oregon's not good, because Oregon's got a tax rate also. I'm looking for zero tax rate.
No sales
There's
tax.
two states there's 3 states that allow that. That's Alaska has no income tax and recreational weed. Washington State, no income tax, recreational weed. And my next port of call, Nevada, which has no income tax, recreational weed, and I can drive to California if I want to go to the beach and still smoke recreational weed. So that's where I'm going.
And you got a fully automatic weapon.
Your needs are not great, are they?
At this point, no. My needs are not that great. Well, that's not necessarily so, because right now I'm looking for a hardtop convertible car. So
what are we looking for?
Yeah, okay. I'm looking for what is it? A Lexus IS 350C.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Do you know how to drive one of those?
It's an automatic. What are you talking about?
That's one of my big peeves. That car is a haul-ass vehicle.
Yes,
and
it is.
People in the Bay Area have no idea how to drive that fucking thing.
No.
SC430, the 2-seater Lexus.
Yes.
It was a hardtop convertible.
I test drove one.
V8 rocket ship, and I had a good stereo that was beyond good.
Yes, it is. Yeah, but it's too small though.
Yeah.
I want something with a little bit of room, just a little bit of room.
But
2 back seats with
you.
Yeah. So that's my next thing. A little hard, at least. Who knows? I'll wind up getting a bike or something with an umbrella attachment to compromise.
Yeah. So you really like it down in Florida, right? Because I hated Florida, as you know.
Yeah, but I think you primarily hated the people you worked for. And your audience wasn't that great either.
What?
Your audience wasn't that great either.
Oh, the audience was the meanest audience I've ever worked for.
Well, that's why you hated it.
Yeah, I mean, that was a mean fucking town. I mean, of course, you're not down in Miami. Okay,
not Miami.
But Miami was the meanest fucking town I ever worked in my life.
At least an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Depending on what the traffic is. Yeah, but you know what? I have to say that the people that I've met here in dealing in retail and customer service and all that, they're the sweetest people. They're really the nicest people ever. Way nicer than the people in New York. The only problem is they have no concept of getting back to you in an appropriate amount of time. Because they'll say, oh, okay, what?
Neither does anyone else in retail.
Well, in New York, they did. If I called up the cable company or somebody, they'd say, yeah, well, okay, we'll be there in 2 days. And they were there in 2 days, maybe not during the 6-hour time period they said, but they did show up. These guys, they don't show up. When you need something done, okay, we'll come by in next Thursday. Okay, fine. They don't show up, and then you call them and say, oh yeah, well, we couldn't make it, so why didn't you call me? Well, we just couldn't make it, so but that's the only problem. They're not very nice about it, but they just don't tell you.
Hey, guess who? Albert, our old friend. Who is it?
Well,
there he is, Patrick.
Patrick's here. Yay.
Are you still a Republican?
Oh, God.
You better hold on. Somebody's got to hold on to that party.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a Trump fan at all.
Who the hell is?
Phil is the Trump fan.
Yeah.
In fact, right now on this screen, you are sandwiched between two Republicans. How's that?
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
You got a fiscal conservative on one side and just a magma on the other side. He used to have that wrapped in aluminum foil, and it looked so much better.
I'm surrounded down here, so it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter to me. I was thinking of going to do some shooting at some point, but it just I can't latch onto it for some reason. It's just not my
local indoor range or something. It's air conditioned and comfortable, and
there's plenty of them. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of doing, but it's not appealing to me.
And according to Patrick, look for a range that doesn't have a bunch of gun holes
ceiling,
in it.
Yeah.
It'll be a while before I look for a range. I'm gonna look for that vehicle before I look for a gun place.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you lots of luck with your new convertible.
We'll see. If it happens, it happens. Now, where did Alex? Oh, Alex is over here now. Okay. I don't know how any of this stuff works.
What do you mean, Alex? Oh, you're using the newer Skype where it's got little bubbles and stuff like that? Yeah. What you should do is you should go on to Skype and download Skype Classic, it's called. You go to the downloads and just say Skype. There's in the drop-down thing, there's a thing that says Skype Classic. And just get Skype Classic, and that'll give you the older version, and it's better.
Version 7 point something instead of 8 point something?
Yeah, wait a minute. Let me see here. What's the name of it? Skype. Let me see here. Help about Skype. It's 7
If you go up into one of those bubbles and drag one of those people down into one of the squares, it'll pop one of those people in.
Yeah,
so
but also just 7.41
down into a square. It'll put him in there.
7.41, I think it is, and you can just go online, say Skype 7.41, and you'll go to a site that'll let you download it, and then you can use that side by side with this one. Actually,
I have the newest Skype, and I don't have any of those bubbles. It's just
you're a Mac. You're a Mac.
Oh,
they haven't upgraded it to that yet.
Yeah, but it's the same. I got the newest one, and it's a bubble.
No, I'm not upgrading yet.
I'm a Mac.
Not doing it.
Yeah.
It's no different. It works fine.
Now we're about to put somebody on who's calling, who you've never even met before. This is a guy that's relatively new to us. Is he there? There he is. There's Jeff Stein in Connecticut.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Hey.
Do you remember Albert at all from any of my shows?
I sure I do.
Yeah.
Never met him personally, but
well, now you have.
I'm a lot nicer than I used to be, Jeff.
I keep saying that about me, and it's not true.
we also have something in common.
You and I?
Queens.
What?
Oh, okay.
What'd you say?
You know, that's another thing that's unbelievable, is that down here, the person that lives right across the street from me is a cop from New York. Right next to them is two people that lived in Queens for many years. And down the road are more people from Manhattan. And there's more New Yorkers here than there were in New York. More people that speak New York English here than I found on the subway. And the subway, I could barely speak English to anybody.
Now, Patrick, where's Mark Thorner live? Do you remember? It's
Naples.
Naples. He
Naples.
lives over in Naples.
Where is he now?
Naples.
The other side of the state.
No, but does he come on the show still?
Oh yeah, he calls occasionally. Yeah.
Yeah. But
What about David? What happened to David? I think about him every so often, and I don't know.
Yeah,
whether he's
David, I hear from very occasionally.
Yeah.
He's still in
surgery.
What'd you say?
I just heard from him. He wished me a happy crippleversary. So, yeah, I just heard from him.
Yeah.
He had prostate surgery and went back to Czechoslovakia to have the surgery done, and I guess they're still there.
It wasn't surgery though. He did radiation
therapy. I did the surgery.
Yeah.
And
by the way, how's that going for you now?
I work the full day today, and except for the fact that I have to wear a diaper. I'm okay.
Were you okay? I mean, are you leaking, or are you able to hold it now? Huh?
Well, I leak. Not to the point where it gets on the pants or anything, but I have to wear the diaper. And
couldn't we just ask him about his Kegel muscles and whether or not he's been doing his exercises?
Not as often as I should be. I do.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you.
Bill.
Yeah.
Bill. All right, I'm going to take over the show for 1 minute here.
Okay.
I'm fucking paralyzed. I don't have control in my asshole or my dick. However, with exercises and a little bit of waiting,
effort,
I have it. I don't piss my. Well, I am now because I got the bladder stone, but I don't wear any pens, anything. I transfer. I do all kinds of bending. I don't shit my pants. I don't piss myself. Fucking exercise.
So, do you want to be my personal trainer? Do you want to be my personal trainer?
Go to a stoplight, and every time the light changes, do a Kegel.
I'll be wearing a fucking GI hat, and I'll have a.
That's what they used to tell my wife. Do a Kegel when you're at the stoplight.
I'm not kidding you. I went to Costco on Monday. Okay, yesterday. And I go to this place where you get the car to take you home. They have cars that come there, and the car in front of me, they're loading it up, and it's two old people, and they have two huge boxes of Depends they're taking home.
I sent Faye to Costco yesterday to get me Depends. She says they're no longer carrying the male version of Depends. So she calls me and says, "Do you want the female ones?" I said, "Nah."
Wait a minute. Every time I go there, you see, I mean, Marjorie has always made this into a big joke. Every time we walk by the Depends, she says in a loud, boisterous voice, "Alex, are you running out of your Depends?"
I get the same thing.
Does your wife do the same thing?
Yeah, she does the same thing.
And I say, no, but right next to the Depends are the poise pads, which I don't think you need anymore.
What's a poise?
Yeah. And so that's our joke all the time. So they should have the male Depends at Costco. And it's a giant display. I mean, it's just
she went
massive.
there yesterday. And she said that Costco's no longer carrying the male version.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Put them on your Amazon wish list.
I should. She went to CVS and.
But just order them on Amazon.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm hoping that if I don't buy too many, that maybe I won't need them soon.
Well, Alexa, order Depends.
I think after a while you probably won't have that incontinence problem. That's probably because of.
We spoke to the doctor, and he said that a lot of this issue is that since I had a catheter for 10 days.
Welcome to our program, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy yourselves.
It's Alex's waiting room.
Yes. But since I had a catheter, and you're able to kind of pee freely that way, that I have to restore the muscles, and it's in the bladder. So And
Just sit back and watch Patrick go.
Patrick, don't allow this to go on
Yes,
any
Patrick.
longer. Just jump in.
Patrick, yes, Patrick.
To say something again.
Yeah.
That's not a real hand.
All right. So you're sitting there right now talking to us, right?
Yeah.
Do you realize that you can be doing Kegel exercises while you're on the air, while you're at work, while, like Kevin said, while you're at the stoplight, while you're driving? Let me tell you something, Phil, and I'm serious. I was doing what I could do constantly while I was in the hospital and afterwards. It took me 8 months before I stopped shitting my pants and pissing myself. But I have a whole different situation than you. I don't have control over those muscles.
Yeah.
So you do exercise. And you know what? You can also do Kegel exercises when you're laying in bed and you are drifting off to sleep.
That's what you usually do.
And by the way, to you women out there, Kegel exercises are always recommended.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, especially for those that have had childbirth. But even my mother was giving me the same speech the other day.
Ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
On the count.
I like it. A metronome?
Yeah, there you go. Just get a metronome.
Yeah.
Well, the doctor said you're supposed to hold the position for like 5 seconds at a time, and you want to do
Set it for that.
20 of those.
What?
No.
Hold it.
Can't hear it.
Hold it.
Set it for 5.
Hold it.
Very nice. Is that an iPhone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was one of those. Is that an app?
It's an app.
Yeah, it's an app. I use it for my daughter's music.
I like it.
You can set it for, let's see, 47. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice and slow.
Alex, I hear iPhone just got face recognition. Remember I had that in the 90s when I had my
No, I was saying that when Apple came out and said we have face recognition on the iPhone 10, which Phil got, and he uses it, but it just comes up and says you're too ugly. I refuse to do it. But you had face recognition on your whatever that Android phone.
Yeah, Droid.
Yeah, he had. He
had
had
a really Galaxy, and that pissed you off when I first did that. That pissed you off. We were walking. I remember distinctly walking down the hall and just looking at my phone, and it opened up, and you were so pissed off. Why doesn't my own iPhone do this?
Why did Apple make such a big deal out of it? Because I knew it was there, with your phone years earlier.
Yeah.
Well, did you have the phone that caught on fire?
No, I didn't have the phone that caught on fire.
No.
That was like the 6. I have the 7 now.
Yeah.
I'm not trading it.
I'll tell you, if I wasn't so inculcated or in the so-called ecosphere of
I've
Apple,
been saying this shit for years.
I would get a Samsung. They look good. It look like they do the job.
It's all the same shit.
Plus, you can get this show on Android. We have a GabNet app for Android.
And guess what? You can get everything on Android.
I want a flip phone.
You want a flip phone? You know something? You know what they're making now? I saw it. It's great. It's online. Motorola is making the flip phone again. But it's a flip phone that you open it up, and there's a whole screen along this whole thing.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's a foldable screen.
I've been pocket dialing for so long with these Apple phones. Since 2008, I've been pocket dialing. When I had a Nextel flip phone, nothing.
Yes, Patrick, you're looking stunned by something.
How do you pocket dial if the fucking thing is off?
Yes. Thank you.
He doesn't hit the button on the side.
No, sometimes I fall asleep with the phone in my hand.
Butt dialing is just a term. I don't think anybody actually butt dials. But
not anymore.
But sometimes you accidentally hit a button, and you call somebody.
Yeah, but if you lock your phone like this, if you hit the other side and right, it just you can't do. Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
Exactly. You can't do a thing.
Yeah, but if you
it doesn't matter if you sit on it.
And then all of a sudden the thing's in your hand, and you push the button.
Did you see the new? Okay, so there's a new report that's out saying, do not let your kids sleep with that phone near their heads. The information is out now that these little brain, or the little skulls with the little brains that haven't been fully put together by us. Yeah, but anyway, don't let your kids. This stuff, I guess the stuff that's in here is actually can penetrate the little kids' stuff. So. Don't let your kids fall asleep with this near their head.
Okay. How many of you watching right now, you on the panel, believe that's true? Raise your hands.
This is a real study.
I thought they did studies and they said that it's not true.
You want me to find the Harvard University study?
Well, let's go to Patrick, because he was crippled by a phone. So.
was most American.
I would believe it affects children more than adults, because a lot of things affect children more than they do adults, just because of the underdevelopment that kids have. But I sleep with my phone strapped to my forehead every night, just for the fun of it. So,
Yeah, but our skulls are fully developed and our brains are already hard.
Well, I got one other malady that comes from this. On May 7th, I'm getting a cortisone shot in my left thumb because I've taken Facebook off the phone because I used to scroll, and by scrolling with the left thumb, now I have tendinitis. No, I'm not doing that anymore.
It's not necessary.
That doesn't mean. Listen, I had a cat who we altered, and even after we altered the cat, he kept trying to fuck the female cat, and then he would get about halfway through it and try to remember what he was trying to do. Right. So you're never going to stop trying to jerk off, even though it doesn't work anymore.
I'll look forward to the day.
Yeah. Yeah, well, which brings us around to what went on today, which was, of course, why do you keep flipping on and off like that, Albert? I'm trying to figure that out. Now you go to gray screen every now and then.
I don't know. I hover my mouse on the main Skype screen, and that's what happens. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, don't do it. Then don't do that. Just keep your hands off it. That's what my mother said to me.
You need glasses.
Huh?
Keep your hands off it till you need glasses.
Yeah. Anyway, today they had what's his name? The head of Facebook, Zuckerberg, testifying before a Senate committee. I have never seen a group of stupider senators in one place in my life. None of them knew what they were talking about or what information they really needed to have. Did anybody see that? It was pathetic.
No. Yeah, I got so bored I left.
It was pathetic. And at one point, there was even one senator said, well, there's a rumor that you can listen into people's phone conversations on their iPhones through the microphone. And Zuckerberg said that is just a way out there theory.
What about the cameras, where people say that they can be spied on through their cameras? And that is probably true, because I saw a thing online that said what you needed to program to be able to hack into somebody's camera.
If you have a camera on it, it'll go both ways.
Yeah.
So as long as it's not, That's why tech people walk around with blue tape on their.
I have this. Where is it? I never use it, but this came with my webcam, and it's a cover that I can put over it, just slip over it if I'm afraid that people are watching me, and quite frankly, I hope they are watching me. Yes, Patrick.
Not to be ageist or anything, but as I was watching I only caught a little bit of that with Zuckerberg, but the senators that were giving me the most enjoyment were the ones who would be the elder statesmen, who would be approaching in their 70s, and damn well right that their grandchildren are programming their phones, and they're speaking tech speak that none of us do on a regular
No,
basis.
but they're reading it. They're reading it, and they didn't know what they were reading.
It's as if you gave me a script and told me to speak about whatever Jeff used to do with the cardiac stuff, and Jeff handed me something and said, now go present it to a board. And I just read it. Yeah, and then the heart valve as it...
Yeah, that's exactly what was going on. And
Really?
and yeah, it was just brutal how stupid these people were.
I heard he was just contrite and apologetic.
Well, he was contrite
They
and
weren't talking about Zuckerberg.
apologetic. And while he sat there, you ready for the statistics now? While he sat there getting apologetic, the stock in Facebook rose to a point where Zuckerberg sat there and made $3 billion.
It's not a bad
So
day's
apparently
work.
he did the job that needed to be done today.
You worked them.
He worked him. The thing
He's got
was, they
another
were
day to go.
and then Ted Cruz was asking him questions which were all about, well, haven't you banned right-wing blogs and things like that? And Zuckerberg is just going, where are these people? I mean, if I were Zuckerberg, I would have said, all y'all know nothing about technology, and when you do, come back and ask me the proper questions. Otherwise, in the meantime, you can blow me and then get up and walk out. His worth would have gone up $6 billion, okay? Because that was just horrible to watch, you know. And is it true that the
president can talk like that? Come on.
Only the president can talk like that.
On the Twitter.
Right.
And one of the senators, I swear to you, I heard him refer to it as the Facebook.
Oh no,
that's what it was originally called.
Yeah. No, it was called Facebook. It's always called Facebook, not the. I know what you're talking.
Originally called it the Facebook.
You're right. It was originally called the Facebook. Well, then we have to give the guy props for being retro. Retro, you know. But I mean, that was the most pathetic thing I ever saw today. And we get it again tomorrow from Congress. That's going to be, maybe we'll have some younger people in Congress who can ask proper questions, you know.
Who was asking the questions today?
This was
Really old
senators,
white
really old white guys.
What about Kamala Harris? Wasn't she asking questions? I saw that this morning.
Was she in there?
I don't remember seeing her.
I didn't see her, but they had like 30 different senators asking questions.
White
Everybody
guys.
wanted a piece of this action for the news clips back home.
Yeah, they're on TV.
Yeah, and none of them knew what they were talking about. And when it said Republican, they knew even less. Yes. Yes.
Of course.
Patrick.
Is it me or... Now, Zuckerberg is 33 years old. He looks about 18 to me.
Yeah.
I mean...
He looked like he looked like he was dressed for his bar mitzvah.
Hey,
Yeah,
when
he
you're
didn't wear
60,
anything well.
you look young. You know?
So this was the problem with Bill Gates. For the longest time before Bill met Melinda Gates, he looked not good, but he looked like the rest of us. And then finally she kind of whipped him into shape. But Mark Zuckerberg doesn't have that as an option because he's married to a frickin' doctor named Priscilla. And if he looks like shit, it's because nobody can tell him not to or something. Because she's a pediatrician. She's full-fledged.
Well, he likes to wear sweatshirts and jeans.
Like crap.
He likes to wear sweatshirts and jeans.
He dressed a little too much like Trump.
You ever in your meanderings of work, Albert? Have you ever worked for a tech company?
My meanderings of work. Well, wasn't Sirius a tech company?
I guess, but it kind of was a combination of an entertainment tech company, but the tech never met up with the entertainment part. You know, we just said the words and we didn't care what wire it went through to get out. You know,
I guess not strictly tech. No.
Yeah, because I've worked for tech companies, and they always have this very relaxed atmosphere about how they dress. You know. Mm-hmm. And it was all like, if you had a cubicle, you could take the cubicle and dress it up any way you wanted to. you know, because they wanted you to feel comfortable and also to stay there 18 hours a day.
It's a day.
You know,
They do dry cleaning. They have foosball.
they had. I remember when I was working for CNET, I had an ad that they were recruiting for this one company. I can't remember which one it was, and the last line in it was, "And we have dry cleaning on premises."
Dry clean my T-shirt and my jeans.
Yeah, exactly.
cares?
Exactly.
Well, if you got a $400 pair of jeans, you want it dry cleaned.
Yeah, and that's kind of another thing. You know, this is a Trump issue. I loved it when Trump came out saying, "Oh yeah, my clothes are great," and I'd look at him and go, "No, honey, it's not great." And the issue is you didn't put any quality into it too. So when you saw Zuckerberg, made in China, bitch, made in China.
It's great again.
Made in China, bitch, made in China.
This was made in the USA. See the American flag?
Oh, look, you got one made in the United States.
I think Kraft cheese should probably put that on their cheese. Make America great again.
There you go.
Yes.
Where's your hat made? Was it made in PRC?
No,
or was it made in Vietnam or something?
No, this was my Chinese hat was made in
Alabama?
in USA. It says here.
No, show it. It was cheap labor.
No, it actually wherever it was made, it has a label here, and the label made in China. Okay, so
all right,
yeah. So yes, Patrick.
Just want to make sure Renee knows the official Trump cap, the ugly one, like Phil had.
That one, the Elmer Fudd cap.
All made in the USA.
Oh, really?
Knockoffs that actually, the shape of the hat looked good, even if you don't like the message, but it looked like a hat that'll fit you. Those are all made in China. And those, when they sell them on the street vendors and that, those are the official ones. The ugly one that Phil has,
put yours on, Phil. Put it on.
Yeah. Now
look at be very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
What Trump is doing with the trade war is making sure that his hats won't be knocked off, his intellectual property won't get knocked off in China and sold here for, and undercut the true Trump.
I've got news for you. I wouldn't say that the term "Make America Great Again" is intellectual property.
He bought it from Reagan.
Reagan, you coined the term.
Yeah, he coined the term.
Yeah.
But he didn't copyright it, fool.
Yeah,
So,
right.
You know, there's quite a few. Can anybody buy a flag in America that says "Made in the United States," or are all those made?
Oh no! In fact, I was at Lowe's yesterday, and they have a lot of flags. They have bigger poles and smaller poles, and they all make a point of saying that the flag, at least the flag, was made in the USA. Good. Many of them say that the pole wasn't made in the USA or some part of it, but the flag always says "Made in the USA" now. Because
a pole isn't made in the USA, and neither is a Hungarian. No, poles aren't made in the USA.
Well,
so isn't that hat that you got on, Phil, called a trucker hat because it's got the big forefront?
No, it's called an Elmer Fudd hat.
I don't know, but
okay.
it's
So
the trucker hats are the mesh ones.
Now that's cool. The one that Patrick has,
that's a nice hat.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I like
Patrick.
You got mesh in the back.
Trump's hair,
foam in the front, mesh in the back.
Yeah, but Trump's hair had to fit in this hat, so that's why it's got so much extra room on the top, so that you could put the hair in.
It's the popcorn.
Get him, Patrick.
Yeah, the thing is, Phil,
I'm doing this.
Yes.
Yeah. As long as we're speaking about caps, I'm doing this for Albert's benefit because he'll get a kick out of it.
Now that's
I like
here's a cap I'm gonna wear when I come to see you in Florida.
You need white socks and shorts,
sandals,
white knee-high socks, and shorts and sandals. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, in
you
case.
don't wear that cap outside, do you?
No, never.
Okay.
I don't.
Turn it backwards and see if it looks like a beret.
Huh?
Turn it backwards and see if it looks like a beret.
Well, no. But this is here you do it this way. Yeah. Some people do it that way. Yeah, now I look like Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's like Michael Snyder.
Michael Snyder.
Oh, no!
Snap.
Oops.
Snap.
And Albert wins the. Oh, there you go.
No.
There we go.
And you know who gave me this hat? You know who gave me this hat? He still calls. Tony. Tony gave me this hat.
Tony.
I like the blue.
Doing Mango. What's he doing?
What's he doing?
Yeah.
Still living at home. Still living at
Hiding
home.
bodies at the Bates Motel.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't expect anything different, but I mean, is he on the show at all?
Yeah, he
Does
calls. He calls.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got two retrievers. Oh no, two labs. One is a chocolate lab named Coco, and the other one is a lighter colored lab, and he named him Pebbles.
Oh,
so he's got two labs named Coco and Pebbles.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We get to see them sometimes.
He's a very special child.
And his mother drives him nuts now. He bitches about it constantly on Facebook now.
His mother drives him nuts.
He sends me 30, 40 texts a day, on Messenger. And today I said, you're sending me too many texts. I said, why don't you send them to Alex? He says, Alex will yell at me. I said, that's the idea.
Oh no! You have to toe the line with Tony when it comes to texts. You have to say no more, Tony, or I'm forever banning you from Facebook or whatever. Because I mean he can get just crazy with it.
Yeah.
It's hot in here today. Thank you.
Cereal boxes.
Yeah. So what's your average day like, Albert, down there in Florida? You wake up in the morning and then?
Oh, no, I wake up barely in the morning. I wake up, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Oh, you're about the time I do.
Pretty much, yeah.
I get up about 10. Yeah, most days.
And then I go and open the back door for the patio so the cats can go out and lay in the sun.
Yeah.
And have a little coffee, which is already waiting for me, which is beautiful. Maybe a little muffin or oatmeal or something like that.
What's your coffee of choice?
Whatever my wife wants to make, I don't care. I'm not.
Oh, really? You've never.
Do you have alligators in the backyard?
In fact, we do. Yeah.
We gotta watch the cats.
No. They're not in the backyard, but they have lakes between all the houses.
Yeah.
Kind of subdivisions with lakes between the subdivisions, and there are alligators in there occasionally. We got a picture of one time, but it doesn't bother me.
Good way to keep the toddler population down.
It'll bother the cat.
I'm in an adult community. We don't allow any toddlers walking around here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You must be kidding. Did you think I was going to go into a community where there's people dragging their bratty kids all over the place and shitting in the pool? No, that's not for me. I don't do that. I'm at the very entry level of the 55 plus, and we don't deal with any of that stuff.
How old are you now?
55.
55, so you're 55 plus. Yeah, okay. Gee, I'm 22 years old, 23 years older than you are?
You're older than everybody.
Shut the fuck up. Yes, Patrick.
Albert, the thing is, though, for somebody higher end of the age group that you're living with, there'd be a Hershey bar floating in the pool. So,
no, because it's not a disability community. It's not an older folks. What do they call that now?
Geriatric.
What?
The geriatric set?
No, it's something.
It's a name. There's a politically correct name for that. I don't know what the
Altacaca
Pines. Yeah.
They call it a 55 plus active living community. And
active living community. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's moving around. I'm probably one of the slower people of the bunch, and there's a million clubs down here, of which I'm part of none of them right now. But there's a thing for everything here. We got a bunch of pool tables, a bunch of ping pong tables. We got the huge Olympic-sized swimming pool. We got the whatever you want. There is here. So there's always people active. Big basketball courts. There's always people active, and I just don't do any of that stuff. That's what I like. I'm waiting for people my age so I can sit and hang out with them and maybe get stoned and listen to some obscure punk music. That's really what I want.
Are there any comedians that play your place? Since
they don't do a lot of comedians down here, but we have some bands that come in, you know, Frankie Valli tribute bands, and, you know, doo-wop bands and stuff like that. So, but there's a contingency of people that I deal with who are getting a little tired of that, and we're going to bring in some younger stuff. Hopefully,
some younger stuff. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Alex, you just had Buddy Love on, and he is wonderful in a huge setting.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we just had 3 days of him, Buddy Love.
What, on this show?
Yeah.
2 days. 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
It was great.
What are you doing?
He's fine. He's doing fine. He got married.
Did he?
And married a doctor, which was always my dream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because then if I say, do my feet look okay to you? Yes, they do. You know, and then I've got a professional opinion on it, not just my wife trying to make me shut up. Okay.
What, you don't think that person would be lying to you too?
Probably. Anyway, so he got married, and you know, I mean, the music business is not doing great, because who wants live music anymore when you can hire a DJ for your wedding?
He's awfully fun.
You know, so yeah, it's like, in a way, I feel, you know, in radio like an anachronism. Okay, and I think he kind of feels that way too. You know, that when my father was a musician, and work got really hard because at a certain point in the 50s, what went out were the orchestras, and what came in were the combos and the trios and things like that people went out to see and hear. And consequently, he went and started selling real estate. You know, I mean, it's just that there's a certain point at which what you do becomes archaic. And I think that happened to us. You know, yes, you could work in the radio business, but you wouldn't be working in the radio business that you signed up for. Right. And I feel like I'm an anachronism. I'm like my father. You know, I better go get myself a real estate license.
And I had it, and I gave it up.
Did you? When did
Yes. Before I came to Sirius, I had a real estate license.
Really?
I said, you know, it's all going to fall apart at some point. I better have a backup plan. And then they called me and said, hey, you want to work with Alex Bennett? Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Did you know who I was before they hired you, when they asked you to go to work for me?
Yes, and I worked with you nevertheless.
Bada boom.
Who's got the bell?
Actually, it was very strange. I think you and I kind of hated each other in the beginning.
I know I hated you. I can't speak for you.
Well, I know I hated you too. And then for some reason, something happened. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden we became.
I thought you two were engaged.
Yeah, weren't you going to get married?
Yes, we were engaged to be married. Yes,
right.
That is true.
That helps if you like each other, you know.
Well, that was down the road. We wouldn't have gotten engaged had we not had the relationship that would merit that.
Yeah,
but Sirius put a quick stop to the marriage.
Yeah, here's what happened. Tell them the story. What happened was, they legalized same-sex marriage in the state of New York, and it was going to start on a certain date. And they were taking a lottery to see who the first people were going to be to get married on that date. And so we just, for the hell of it, sent our names in, and we won the lottery. So now I go to the bosses at Sirius and I say, we got the publicity deal of a lifetime here.
It's not your job to get publicity, though.
Huh? It wasn't my job, but I was trying. I was trying to do something for them. And I said, Albert and I want to get married because we sent away for the lottery, and we are one of the first, I think it was like 10 or 15 people that were going to be allowed to get married in the state of New York. I said, and then when we go down there and they say, well, you're gay, we say, no, but we're same-sex marriage. You got to marry us.
Right.
And we were going to, you and I were literally going to get married. There was only one thing we wanted out of Sirius. Number one was a bouquet for the bride, whoever that would be. And
I know who that would be.
And I said, as soon as we're married, you have to pay for the annulment.
Right.
Right? And they wouldn't go for the idea at all. And I thought it was the best idea in the world. And we would make a big deal out of the fact that neither of us were gay, but we were going to get married for the tax deduction, and for all the positive things that you get once you're married. And they wouldn't go along with it, right, Albert? They laughed us out the door.
Very stupid. I think it would have made easily the first 5 pages of the paper the next day.
Maybe the front page.
Perhaps the front, yeah. Because it was you're substantially older than I was, or I am. So that disparity would have been good for pictures.
Yeah.
December, huh?
What's that?
December-May relationship.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Robbing the cradle.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we weren't gay, that certainly would have done it.
Yeah, it would have pissed them all off.
But you were happy.
But it would have gotten press. It would have gotten great press.
Terrific press.
What they wanted.
Yeah. And
did their attorneys poo-hoo it, or why?
Our boss went to his boss, and they said no.
Right.
And why they said no, I have no idea.
Honeymoon.
We listen, when we sent in this as a joke, we just kind of sent into this lottery, and we got picked. Who got the letter? You or me? It was a letter that's. Huh?
I got an email because I applied online.
Yeah.
And I got an email that said, you've been selected. Be here at City Hall on Sunday morning. I think it was a Sunday morning. So the Monday morning papers would have been, and they did have people from the front of the line on the papers, on the front of the papers.
Oh, yeah. And then when we would make a big deal out of the fact that, well, neither of us were gay, but we just wanted to get married, that would have just, and the point we were going to make politically was that, people who are married get benefits that people who aren't married don't get, and that we wanted to take advantage of that, Yeah, there
could have been some backlash, though, in the gay community, that you were mocking their deal.
Newly found rights.
Yeah.
Fuck the gay community. We won the fucking lottery.
Then call it gay marriage and not same-sex marriage.
Yeah,
we wouldn't have
they call it same-sex marriage, not gay marriage.
Yeah,
because I think they didn't like the term gay marriage.
Yeah,
Bad.
Had the better insurance benefits. You were.
So anyway, by the time we worked with each other for 9.5 years, I think we became pretty close. We became at least.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You were very, we worked well together. I mean, we had timing together and all those good things,
It took 9 years, but
it took 9 years.
The last 6 months were good.
Yeah. We were at the top of our game, but apparently the bosses didn't think that. And to this day, Patrick, to this day, Albert and I have no idea why we got fired.
I think it was very serendipitous.
What was
in my because we did the video thing after that. Mm-hmm. You did this after that, and it worked out. Okay.
Look who's joined us. Remember Tom Yamaguchi?
Oh, Tom.
See,
hey.
He was the other person at the installation for me at the Bay Area Hall of Fame.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I just wanted to call because you talked about your opportunity or attempt to get married.
Yeah.
I should remind you that you actually had the blessings of the people at Alcu, the guy who did the morning show.
Yes, we did.
Larry Flick actually came in, and he actually was very, very supportive.
Yeah.
And so I think it was a big mistake that you'd go through with it. It really was a mistake because you could have gotten a lot of publicity. And and there's a lot of people in the gay community who have been divided about marriage. there are a lot of people who refuse to get married because they're against the institution.
Part of it was, especially at the time, both Albert and I weren't married, and we kind of wanted to make a statement against marriage, in a way. Right, Albert? Wouldn't you say that was part of what we were trying to accomplish?
That was part of it, yeah, certainly. Tom, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Albert.
Yeah. See how they all miss you, Albert?
Well, why not go that far?
How does Tom do this without any headphones on? How does that work?
I'm just using my computer.
Oh, okay.
The inboard speaker and headphones.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn how to do this radio thing.
Mic.
Yeah. But next time you come on, try and see if you can figure the backward thing. I think it has something to do. You know what it is? Because you're running it through Skype as your camera, and the camera is like reverse, but you can reverse that in Skype, I think.
Like I said, I haven't done this in so long. I haven't had Skype up here. This is the first time I'm using Skype in God knows how long.
Yeah.
And I just said, let me come on and see what's going on here on GabNet. Yeah. Flashy graphics and everything going on. Very nice.
Yeah. But, yeah. Oh, yeah. But it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, it looks great.
It's simple. It's
high def than it used to be when you were doing a
GabNet.
GabNet.
The quality of the Skype is a lot better than it was.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's more high def than it was in the past. So.
I'll have to look into that. I don't know anything about this stuff.
Yeah.
I used to listen to Albert's show. Wasn't it all audio though? Out to the public.
It was just audio in the beginning.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we did on Fridays. I think I did. On Friday I did video. But now I do it every night. It's just very simple. In fact, we have very few people listening to us on the audio stream. It's basically they look at us on the video stream because they go to gabnet.net and it's playing right there. That's the great thing about YouTube. The minute I turn it on here, it turns it on everywhere if everybody's on that page.
That was the original thing that you and Albert did with Great American Broadcast, having the video, and it didn't work because of the way people had to download or listen to it and use minutes. But now, with most people having unlimited.
Well, what you're talking about is bandwidth. That people suddenly realized they got a huge bill for trying to watch us because they were downloading so much. The bandwidth was so large.
3 shows and I got throttled back.
Yes, Tom. We got to get out of here. What?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say the problem with the original live stream was there was a lot of glitches. The screen would freeze, and you'd actually have to reboot. And for several months, it was just a real pain.
Yeah.
And eventually got fixed.
Well, YouTube is perfect. Hey, Albert, please do this again.
Yeah, I will. I'll give you a call beforehand so I can figure out what the hell's going on.
Well, I'll call you maybe in the next couple of days. I'll call you and we'll see if we can figure it out so that if worse comes to worse, just use your camera and Facebook and don't go through the OBS. You don't need to.
I want to do tech stuff. Come on.
I know you want to do tech stuff. And right now, as Ted or Hal instead of Albert.
It's reading you backwards.
It's weird. Anyway, hey, let's do more, okay? Because they love you and I love you, and I wish I had married you. It would have been really good.
It would have been great.
We would have lived very happily, and then my wife could marry your wife, and everything would have been fine.
Hey, you would have wound up in Florida.
I would have wound up in Florida.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. You'd rather be in San Francisco, though.
What?
You'd rather be in San Francisco.
Probably, but I hear it's a mess now. Anyway, thanks, Albert. I really want to thank you, and I want to thank, of course, Phil. Stay where you are for a second. Phil, Patrick, Tom, at the last minute. We got Renee. Thank you so much, Renee. And, of course, Kevin. And then there is, of course, our good friend, Jeff. Okay? And if you would all wave goodbye, we'll call it a night here. That's our citizens panel, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they look like. Anyway, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And gal. That's it for tonight. Wow. I thought I was almost going to give up on the show again tonight, and then all of a sudden, guess who calls? Our wonderful friend, Albert, my former producer. Boy, God, was he good. Anyway, he made me look great. Hey, I got to go. That's it. I've run out of time and space and all those other Einstein-like things. Next is The Intersection with Jack and Amy, followed at 1 o'clock in the morning by Connections, Eastern Daylight Time. Then tomorrow night, starting at 8:30, there is the Franchise MC with The Arena, our sports show. At 9:30, Damian Chaplin with The Exchange. And then I'll be back again here tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye.